angels willing to hold us in their arms. When our words of stone are ashes and we both passed on, let forever mean forever and carry on.
Good afternoon. So the begging question here over this past weekend is, are we staring at the face of imminent martial law? Good question. Good question. Going to talk about that. I'm going to show you the document that brought all of this on. Let me go through the normal stuff real quick. I'll get it out of the way as quickly as I can, and we will discuss this topic. So real quick like here, Amazon affiliate, we are up to $8.80. So I do show a few items ordered, so that is awesome. That will be going up as soon as those items ship. And for those that don't know, we are an Amazon affiliate. We've got a link down in the description of the videos, as well as at thewatchmannews.com in the top right. Essentially, you click the link, it takes you to Amazon. If you make a purchase, it doesn't cost you anything more, and it throws a little bit our way. We also have an Amazon store, which is pretty much the same thing. Links in the description and right here on our homepage at thewatchmannews.com. And it's basically a page on Amazon that's got a bunch of categories with a a bunch of items in those categories. And just the same, if you buy something, it doesn't cost you anything more, and it throws a little bit our way. We also have a Teespring store now. The best way to see the different designs there is just go to thewatchmannews.com and scroll down on the homepage. Right now, we've got 3 designs up there. Over the weekend, I've been working in my head on the 4th design, so that should be culminating sometime this week. It should be out. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about it. So anyway, that's our Teespring store, and pretty awesome. I can't wait. I've got a couple of shirts ordered, the Watchman News shirts, and I show that one of them is currently printing. The other one's not quite showing is currently printing, so I would assume I'll probably have them either the end of this week or beginning of next. I'm maybe smoking hopium, I don't know, but I'm looking very forward to it. So when they come in, I will show you guys. I will take a very high resolution image of the print on the shirt to show you the quality of the shirts, because that's the big thing for me is they have to do a quality job, or else I can't have it. So I gave them a super high quality image to work with, so I kind of expect a pretty good quality coming out. So anyway, that is our Teespring store. The one other way you can help out, if you so choose, is our PayPal donation page. There's a link down in the description for that, as well as at thewatchmannews.com. There's a menu button right there. Click on donate. That will take you to our PayPal donation page. You don't have to have a PayPal account. You can just use a debit or a credit card as a guest. But I always let people know that it will say Transforming Disabilities. That is us. But it will also say Purpose the Watchman News donation. That way you know you're in the right place. So never required, always appreciated. The items typically always go towards prepping and things that I review here, with the exception of this past couple of weeks. I had to do prepping in a different area, the vaping area. So, but that's all taken care of now. We're good to go there, and we can go back on our regular type of mission, so to speak. So anyway, wow. One other thing I want to mention real quick before we get into the topic. I did notice just actually today that my live shows have been going to marked as public in the back end of our YouTube, which means that they're readily available at any time for anybody to watch. That is not how I intend it. And the reason why that I don't intend it that way is simply because it's out of respect to all of those other creators out there that we play their content during the last 3 hours of the show, because I don't want them to think that I'm trying to take credit for what they do or in any way kind of profit, even though we're not a monetized channel. I don't want them to get that idea. So the way I'd always done it is after our live show, that goes unlisted automatically into the back end of our YouTube. That way it doesn't show up in our video list, okay? But it doesn't mean that you can't watch the show. And so I fixed that. So now after the shows, it will go to unlisted like it should, okay? However, it doesn't mean you can't watch our archives. You just go to the watchmannews.com. Right here, you got show archives. You click 2019 show archives. Gangsta Giggles here was kind enough to go back all the way to January 1st when I put this new website together. And so you can go back all the way to January 1st and watch the full episodes of the show. So it's not like your SOL. If you want to watch full episodes, just go to the website, thewatchmannews.com. So just it's right in the show archives, 2019 show archives, and you can see all of our shows in their entirety since January 1st. So anyway, I did want to make quick mention of that. So let me get this closed here. Have me a sip of coffee, and we'll get on topic here. Okay, maybe a vape too. Sour gummy worms today, by the way, because flavors are important. I love this stuff. All right, so this is the document that's got everybody up in arms. Now, I've got a downloaded copy. That's what you're looking at here. This isn't the actual web copy. It looks a little bit different on the web page, but it's the same thing. This document was signed on the 3rd of October. And I'll tell you what. It is something to pay attention to. It is important. Okay? But there are a lot of people that are really running with this out there. And I'll let you know that right now. Man, I've heard so many different conspiracy theories about what's going on. And the truth of the matter is, guess what? Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows what is truly going on. Is this involving, idea of impeachment? Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows. Does this have to do with financial collapse? Nobody knows. But I can tell you one thing. There has been a lot of fear-mongering going on about the United Nations military, the UN troops, okay? I'm telling you, I got word back earlier today that the UN troops are not doing anything. They're not doing anything out of the ordinary. Now, you may or may not know that there have been UN troops on our soil for decades, and there's quite a few of them. There are training centers around the country. Whether you approve of it, know of it, doesn't matter, they're there. Well, let's just say that part of certain groups' interest is in what these training facilities, what's going on, what these troops are doing, okay? It is one of the priorities of certain groups in this country, okay? I can tell you with 100% certainty that there is no change in these places, in these areas, where these troops are, how these troops are acting. No change. So you can throw out all of the craziness that's being said on Alex Jones and Natural News and the other 5 million places that all have a theory about what's going on. They're lying. Again. They're taking an ounce of truth, as they often do, and mixing up with 1 million tons of bullshit and feeding it to you. Okay? Here's what we know. Oh, you're looking at it. That's it. That's all we know. That's all we know. Could we be looking at martial law? Most certainly. But I've been saying that now for a long time. I've been saying that for a good 10 years. Okay? Because there is so much going on. Our economy is a joke. We never recovered. We absolutely never recovered. All we did was inject the financial system with a boatload of money, right? And even when they were supposed to clamp down on who they gave loans to and this, that, and the other thing, they didn't. They didn't. And in fact, it got worse. Okay? So we're looking at an automotive loan bubble. We're looking at college loans, their bubbles. And we're looking at, again, another housing bubble. Okay? We've got all these bubbles that have built up. And they're about to pop. So it could be an issue with the financial institutions. It most certainly could. And it could be something to do with all of this impeachment nonsense that's going on. But let me tell you something. Nobody knows anything. Okay? Nobody, not from these so-called news outlets, they don't know anything. They're making it up. They're making it up. I would tell you the same thing today as what I told you last week and the week before and the week before that, and that's make damn sure you're ready and make sure your gear is in order. I do take this document serious. I do think it holds weight. I think it's significant. But I don't think our situation is any different today than it was a year ago. I really don't. I think you should have been prepared to go at a moment's notice a year ago. I think the same today. Again, the idea behind this is that when the event happens that you act, not react. You should have been ready a year ago to act, not react. Today, you should be ready to act, not react. And next week, you got it. Act, not react. We should always be at that state of readiness. Always. However, let's get to the document a little bit more itself. There are some individuals that are saying, oh, well, this is just kind of an update to a previously existing, deal. And that's somewhat true. Somewhat. This does give a little bit more authority than what I've seen previously. A little bit. I've actually looked into this deeper than just this document itself. Okay? Do I think something is imminent? Yeah, I do. I do. I tell you what. The people in this country are fed up. They truly are. And I think that we are on the cusp of an announcement in this country that's going to put it on its end. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something involving the presidency. I don't know if it's something involving gun control. I don't know. But they're gearing up for something. That I know. That I know for a fact. Now, as far as the UN troops and all of that's concerned, nothing is out of the ordinary there. Nothing. Now, that being said, they're just like the U.S. military. They can be ready at a moment's notice. So it's not like, they've kicked back and partied and drank some rum and smoked weed for the last 5 years, and now all of a sudden, oh shit, we better train. No, they've been training. They're ready to go. They've been ready to go. And they'll continue to be ready to go. So, I wouldn't expect to see a whole lot of stuff out of the ordinary in these areas or from these troops. They technically should always be ready to go. I find this especially concerning because of the fact that this is essentially addressed to the Marines. That holds weight to me. that truly holds weight to me. When you call the Marines in, you're talking something pretty serious, in my opinion. In my opinion. I'm not sure. And when I'm saying that, I'm trying to just speculate, just take a guess. Not go out and put out an article saying, oh, this is what's happening, like all of these other cats are doing. But I'm just trying to speculate a little bit without saying this is what's going on. You know, like I say, there are so many things that people in this country are not happy with. And it's not just Democrats, it's not just Republicans, it's not just independents, it's not just, no. Everybody is pretty upset. And that's why you see everybody at each other's throats the way they are. That's what I truly feel. I think everybody's fed up. And instead of taking it out on the ones that deserve it and the ones that are responsible for it, they're taking it out on each other. So, you know, this has been ramping up. There is so much that is getting shoved down our throats, it's unreal. You know, we see a lot, not just in the news, but in our society as well. We see a lot of this, and I'm just going to say leftist agenda. Okay? And we see a lot of it just absolutely getting crammed into our faces. You have to understand that 95 or better % of the leftists aren't behind putting this agenda in your face. They're not. In fact, many of them disagree with that. Just the way it is. There's only a small handful that actually want to shove it down your throat. And I think they're being led. I absolutely think they're being led. Now, as far as the ones out there that the keyboard commandos on the left side that are trying to cram it down everybody's throat, I think they're just the extremists, right? The equivalent of the Q fanatics of Trump supporters. Okay, I think they're just the extremists. There's not that many of them. They're just loud and annoying. But there's not truly that many of them. You know, people are really talking about the idea of civil war. And I still believe that's a very high probability. I really do. Like I said, people are tired of it. But what they don't realize is they're actually more tired of their government than they are of each other. But that's the whole point. If the powers that be can get a civil war kicked off, then you're fighting each other. You're not fighting them. And I think that's why it's paramount for them to kind of push this civil war idea, although indirectly, because they can't directly do it. I think that's why they're pushing it. And I do think that is going to ramp up in the coming months. Dramatically. Dramatically. There's some other parts of the agenda that they really need to deal with quickly. Because nobody has up till now. And that's the whole gun confiscation. And that is the quickest way. There's two things that I see that they could just, in the blink of an eye, say, oh, yep, we're going to have to confiscate all the weapons. Two things. A grid down situation or something similar, right? Some type of either national or global emergency or civil war. Or civil war. Because if people started fighting one another in the streets, well, they're going to have to come in and save the day now, aren't they? The only way they can possibly do that is to take the guns, because they care. I do see it coming quickly, but I fear the amount of misinformation that I'm already seeing out there. Why is that important? Because, in my opinion, some of the most important information that you can have is the information right before the information gets cut off, if you follow me with that. It is going to be those last glimpses of information and news that are going to be the most important. They're going to tell you essentially what happened. And in effect with that, if you've got your plans in place, notice I said plans, not plan, then you know which way you need to act, which direction you need to go. Okay? If if we got hit with a massive earthquake off the West Coast and a big tsunami's coming in, okay? If for whatever reason the entire grid went out at the same time, I'm just throwing a hypothetical out here, okay? Here in the Midwest, I don't think we'd have to worry about, getting into tsunami mode, right? But those on the West Coast had better know that bit of information or they're in trouble. Okay? Likewise, if there is a nuclear detonation or multiple nuclear detonations across the country, okay, we have to react in a proper manner in order to protect ourselves and our loved ones from things like radioactive fallout. So it's that bit of information, that's what I'm referring to, that is going to let you know what it is that you need to do or what it is that your priorities are going to be. It's not a priority for me to get all the needed supplies down in the basement and start shoveling dirt up against the basement windows and all of that stuff if I don't have nuclear fallout coming in. Okay? But if I've got, a different event going on, let's say that we've got foreign troops paratrooping in, and bear with me, I'm hypothetical here. Let's say we've got foreign troops coming in, okay? And, instead of taking, going my route, my plan for that event, I'm sitting there trying to bury my basement windows to protect from radioactive fallout, right? Instead of getting us out of Dodge. Can you see where that's going to cause a problem? So that's what I'm trying to get at. And I know I'm using real poor examples for this, just, off the cuff here. But, that is what I mean by it's that last bit of information. It's that last bit of news that is going to be paramount. Paramount. And, don't rely on me or anybody else to be able to bring that to you. Because unfortunately, there's a good chance that our wires are going to be cut, so to speak, before we have any real information to be able to put out. So, I will do my best. If I see something coming, if I become aware of something, I will do my best. If this document here would have turned out to be something as far as an immediate action, you better bet you would have seen me go live or put out a recording or both over the weekend. But this isn't that type of a document, this type of a declaration, if you will, okay? It's just not. It is something important. It is something to pay attention to. It goes beyond what I would call an update of an existing document. It goes beyond that. I'll tell you that right now. And I would say I would be on definitely a higher alert level than I would have before this came out. I will tell you that much. But don't buy what, like I say, so many different outlets are coming out and saying. They're guessing. They're guessing. The problem is they put out opinion and speculation as if it's fact, as if they have actual information, and they don't, folks. They don't. And that's sad, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous not only to you, but it's dangerous in what it is that we're supposed to be doing here. You know, how much false news has to be put out before either nobody trusts you, for one, or, you know, they decide that they have to do something about all of this false news and shut down alternative news altogether. And don't think they won't do it. They've done it in multiple countries already, including, say, France. You know, I mean, that's what concerned me with that whole ordeal with that nightclub shooting, you know, over there in France, because it was like, I want to say the next day, they had already banned alternative media because they were sharing, the alternative media was sharing information that went against what their official narrative was. And that's how quick that they got rid of alternative media over there. Literally, in the blink of an eye, gone. And just because we have a Constitution and a Bill of Rights doesn't mean they won't and can't do it here. Look at all the violations daily that our government participates when it comes to our founding fathers' wishes. So we can't have the entitlement mindset and just think that, oh, well, it's going to be here. That's not necessarily true. In fact, I'm kind of surprised we're even allowed this much freedom, if you will, at this point. I really, truly am. So, but they're trying to come in other directions and shut us down. You know, that's why you see social media organizations like YouTube and Facebook and all of that doing everything that they can to get us to shut up. You know, and fortunately for you, you have individuals out there like myself that I'm not in it for the money. I'm not in it trying to become rich. I'm not in it trying to become famous. Okay? You got individuals like Luke Radowski and We Are Change that is just phenomenal. Phenomenal. Okay? That's just wanting to bring you the truth. Just wanting to bring you the truth. Now, he has to add a monetary aspect to it because he's out there, pardon the language, in the shit. He's out there doing the things, right? At the places. Okay? I have nothing but respect for that man. And it takes money for him to operate and to go those places and to do those things. So it is what it is. But, you know, be mindful of those out there that, you know, that while they're trying to sell you erectile dysfunction drugs or, you know, some new cure-all snake oil, you know, because I'll tell you what, they're in it for the wrong reasons. They truly are in it for the wrong reasons. But I wanted to have a talk about that today. I know I wasn't able to give 100% a clear, definitive answer and all of that, but in a sense I did. Okay, you should always be ready. You should always be ready. But don't let these other folks fearmonger you. And don't let them take you on some conspiracy trail about, you know, Q and the Democrats and the deep state and the... No. I really have no idea what's wrong with those people. I really don't. I truly, truly don't. But, man, I always thought that my views and the things that, I cover is whacked. But no, not anymore. Not anymore. So anyway, got a lot of news headlines to go through for you because I put out quite a bit of information both on Saturday and Sunday yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on those and get that out of the way so we can go ahead and continue on with the rest of the show. I do need another sip of coffee and maybe another vape or two, so bear with me a second. Gotta have some sour gummies. I'll tell you what, this little mod is pretty cool. I like it. I really, truly like it. Okay. Let's do something even if it's wrong. Okay, starting out on Saturday, judge who gave convicted murderer Amber Geiger a Bible is accused of violating freedom from religion. There's, obviously quite a bit of controversy over that headline. And you know what? I have far less concern over the fact that she handed her a Bible as what I do the fact that she gave her a hug. How many judges do you see go give a convicted murderer a hug? And what is the difference here? Okay? That is why I take issue with it, because I believe that we should all be treated fairly and equally. Okay? All of us, regardless of what your job profession is, regardless of what your color is, what your nationality, your religion of choice, we should all be treated fairly and equally. Okay? And I have never, in my 47 years on this ball of dirt, ever heard of a judge giving a convicted murderer a hug. Okay? I do have issue with that. I do have issue with that. This judge wasn't consoling a family of which that had survived the loss of an innocent man's life. I mean, he was eating ice cream on his couch, right? What the hell? Right? And this judge isn't concerned with consoling them. Instead, she's interested in consoling the convicted murderer. But then it gets even worse, and we'll cover that headline here in a bit. Michigan finally warns about THC vaping as number of lung illnesses double. So now they are finally, and again, I'll say it again, I think that the CDC, the FDA, these state governments, I think they're complicit. I think they are complicit in a crime. Plain and simple. Because if we knew it, come on, they had to know it. They had to know it. And it took them the longest time to even mention the word or the letters THC. Definitely, without a doubt, complicit. And I'll tell you what, I hope the lawsuits fly. I hope the lawsuits fly. Watch fully paralyzed man walk again using brain-controlled exoskeleton prototype. They've been working on these for quite some time now, and their advancement on these systems is remarkable. Remarkable. This is what we need to be doing. We need to focus more on doing this kind of stuff instead of focusing on new ways to kill other people. Right? This could really, truly be an incredible planet to live on. It really could. If we had better priorities. It's sad. I mean, this stuff here should have been done a long time ago. I mean, I don't know the status of it, but the intention of the F-35 was to be able to use its weapon systems with thought control. I kid you not. You can go read up all kinds of information on that. I don't know. I know they were having issues, and I don't know if they've tried working through them or what the current status is of those systems. But, you know, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Hopefully, though, we're going to see this culminate very quickly. And I know I'm just talking out my butt here, but hopefully it's made so that people can actually afford to utilize the technology. Which reminds me of an update that I forgot to give you guys a little while back. Pardon me while I get that information for that update. It won't take me but a second here. And I will get that information for that update because I really, truly want you guys to know about this. We talked about this young lady quite some time ago. And hang on here. I hate Facebook is a pain in the butt. Let's see here. Wow. That is so weird. I know you gave it to me. The update on Sophia. Okay. I can't remember her last name off the top of my head, but her first name's Sophia. And she was in need of a stand-up wheelchair, okay? And that wheelchair cost what? $60,000 initially. I think it's like $60,000 initially for this wheelchair. And they cut her a deal and offered it to her for something over $35,000, I believe. 37 something, Jen's saying. And so Sophia, or somebody she knows, I don't know which one, started a GoFundMe. And, you know, it took a while for her to raise that money. But I am happy to say that that money was raised. And Jen saw a picture just the other day of Sophia in her new wheelchair. And that's incredible. That's awesome. That is absolutely remarkable. The sad thing is how we are holding people's health ransom for the almighty dollar. It's ridiculous. You know, $37,000 some odd dollars for an electric wheelchair that has the capability of standing up? Are you kidding me? You can buy a car cheaper than that. There are homes out there cheaper than that. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm glad she got it. But we need true healthcare reform in this country. And that isn't by mandating insurance so that the insurance companies jack up their rates and people are forced to pay it. No, it means going after Big Pharma, going after the companies that manufacture this medical equipment, going after the administrators of these hospitals and other types of healthcare facilities, you know, that just think that they deserve their triple-digit a year salaries for sitting in their, you know, several $1,000 office chair at their several $1,000 desk. It's ridiculous. Am I against rich people or people making a living? You know, when I say making a living, making themselves rich? No. But I do have a problem when you do that at the expense of another person's health. Yeah, I've got a big problem with that. Right? But if you create something that isn't a necessity to life, but it's something that is a desired item that a ton of people buy and it makes you a fortune and you're a billionaire, that's awesome. That's the way this is supposed to work. Okay, but we aren't supposed to be holding people's health and well-being at ransom to be able to get there. I mean, it's ridiculous. And anyway, let's see. Watch Hong Kong protesters beat and set fire to off-duty cop. Things are certainly ramping up over there. Thai judge shoots himself in the chest in apparent courtroom suicide bid. Turkey ready to start its own ops in northern Syria today or tomorrow as setting up safe zone with U.S. became fairy tale, says Erdogan. Now, again, this was Saturday, okay? Saturday, because those ops have taken place today. Duarte's priority market, Philippines strikes deals worth $12.6 million with Russia, including nuclear power plant option. Death toll in Iraq nears 100 amid violent crackdown on nationwide anti-government protests. Paris police knife man had radical vision of Islam, anti-terrorism prosecutors say. Mightiest army in the Mideast, Iran trolls IDF after officer caught slapping soldiers taking cover from Palestinian youths. It was kind of humorous. Let's see. The sky is the limit. Siberian scientists set to design Russia's first flying car. Moderate quake wakens San Francisco. Twitter flooded with witness reports. Again, this was all Saturday. North Korea says talks with U.S. have failed, urges Washington to reconsider position. Police storm Paris shopping mall occupied by eco-activists. Saudi Kurdish TV channel stormed by gunmen in Iraq's Baghdad in attack on mass media. Ex-officer not guilty of manslaughter in Georgia shooting. Botham Jean's neighbor, a key witness in Amber Geyer trial, shot to death in Dallas. This is what I'm talking about. He was shot Friday night. So like what? A day after or something, that conviction? Or I should say sentencing? Oops. You know, just, I'm sure coincidence, right? You're talking about an area where they lived at that usually wasn't a bad place to be. Okay? It wasn't like the slums or nothing like that. Okay? You know, your only problem was if you were maybe by yourself in your apartment, minding your own business, eating an ice cream, then you might have a cop open your door and shoot you in the chest, right? Or if you happen to be a key witness to that event, yeah, your life could be shortened as well. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I mean, this is, as absolutely mind-blowing as Epstein dying in his jail cell. Right? It's crazy. It's crazy. Turkish troops and armored vehicles amass at Syrian border after Erdogan announces imminent incursion. Okay, now we're to Sunday's news, the stuff I put out yesterday. Tehran will use all possible means for crude oil export, says the Iranian minister. 4 people killed after gunman opens fire in a bar in Kansas. A second whistleblower speaks to Intel Community Inspector General about Trump-Ukraine case, says reports. The government, and we talked about this before, and in fact, I think it was New Jersey that we spoke about, but I guess this had completed its mission, so to speak, as far as them getting it put into place and all of that stuff, because it's back in the news again. The government can now activate your phone camera to stream live video of whatever you are seeing. And like I said, we had talked about this before. This is something that they said that they were trying to get put in place before. And I guess it's good to go now. I guess it's all in place and ready to use. So, ridiculous. I'm saying that a lot today, ain't I? Let's see. The U.S. military is exploring a plan to deploy 120,000 troops to the Middle East as tensions with Iran intensify. Now, I want to say up front, this article, and I apologize, was put out in May. Okay? And I didn't look. I normally always look, and before I looked where the date was, I clicked, tweet. The reason why I posted this or was looking for, things like that in my search strings whatsoever is because apparently there's been another call for 120,000 troops. Okay? However, that information has been scrubbed from what I can tell. From what I can tell, that information has been scrubbed. So, if I hear anything more, I will let you know. I was alerted by somebody that often does short little news reports on a couple of Facebook groups that I'm in. And he is the one that let me know about it initially. And then when we tried to go back and get the information, and I trust this guy's word. If this guy says that he's seen the articles, that he read the articles, I can guarantee you that he did. He's not one of those. This guy's as straight as an arrow. So, but we can't find the info anywhere now. Anywhere. Let's see. Civilians and firefighters injured as series of explosions rock Oktoberfest celebrations in Huntington Beach, California. Van Shoemaker under fire after dumping Hong Kong protest-themed design from contest. Watch smoke plume in the sky as Colombian oil pipeline bombed, causing water contamination. Trade, science, and culture. Russia and Venezuela to draw up 10-year cooperation plan. Is U.S. national security going rogue? Moscow fumes after FBI detains Russian lawmaker at New York airport. UK settles Iranian bank's damages claim via third country to sidestep U.S. sanctions, says reports. Hong Kong protesters in Halloween masks vandalize shops and paralyze city after court refuses to cancel anti-mask ban. Libya was destroyed due to Western leaders' lust to continue exploiting Africa's riches, says a Gaddafi spokesman. EU's largest economy, Germany, is now its major underperformer, says Credit Suisse. Swiss, I'm not quite sure how that's pronounced. This is the article, the article that I got that document from that I had showed you. Baghdad denies firing at protesters after graphic videos of shot Iraqi demonstrators go viral. Freudian slip. Turkey fumes over meddling after U.S. Embassy likes tweet by exiled terrorist-linked journalists. Told you, a lot of news I shared out over the weekend. We're still on yesterday, by the way. Europe on brink of new refugee crisis, even greater than 2015, says German Interior Minister. Okay, we're to last night at least. North Korea blasts sickening negotiations with U.S., denounces their hostile policy after nuclear talks flop. Down with the occupation. Makes me think of down with the sickness. Down with the occupation. Syrian Kurds protest near U.S.-occupied military base seeking protection from Turkish occupation. U.S. troops will no longer be in immediate area as Turkey prepares to cross into northern Syria, says the White House. Okay, now we're from this morning here. U.S. begins pulling out from Turkish border areas in Syria, says Kurdish forces. Parents outraged as girls too embarrassed to pee in London primary school unisex toilets. And again, I'm telling you, the people around the world have had enough. They have truly had enough. It's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. Not just here, but everywhere. I mean, look at the uprisings. Look at all the different places on this planet right now that there's uprisings. People have had enough. China adds over 100 tons of gold to its coffers this year amid ongoing trade war with U.S. UK may weaken food safety standards for post-Brexit trade deal with U.S., leaked document warns. Now, when I seen this headline, I thought, and to be honest, I haven't read the whole article, but, there's a lot of places around the earth that will not allow, say, things like GMOs. Okay, so I have a suspicion that is what they are going to have to do, or that is what they're planning to do, is relax some of those stipulations, some of those restrictions on things like GMOs. And that has me asking a whole hell of a lot of questions. It really, truly does. Let's see. Russia offers to set up grain OPEC to ensure stability and solve problem of world hunger. Time to get out of these ridiculous, endless wars. Trump orders U.S. pullback from Syrian border before Turkish operation begins. Mexico and Vietnam, biggest winners from U.S.-China trade war. Ardent Trump defender Graham calls decision to withdraw from Syria a disaster in the making. Kurds warn Turkish offensive in northern Syria will bring back Daesh, says reports. U.S. to deploy record 20,000 soldiers to Europe for Defender Europe drills this spring. Manhattan DA orders Trump to turn over 8 years of his tax returns, says reports. Glorifying rioters, China blasts France and EU for hypocrisy after they call for restraint in Hong Kong. Trump threatens to obliterate Turkey's economy if it does anything off limits. Trump on troop withdrawal from northern Syria. Time to get U.S. out of endless wars. I don't know why I shared that twice, but apparently I did. Let's see. Cop acquitted for rape despite 5 videos showing him have sex with a child. Can you believe that? And he was acquitted. 5 videos. 5 videos. And he was acquitted. Watch American troops and vehicles withdraw from Kurdish-controlled northern Syria ahead of imminent Turkish op. Scientific paper arguing Assad not responsible for Syria chemical attack shelved after Bellingcat-led backlash. Oops. Live updates. Turkish air forces strike Kurdish SDF base in Syria's Hazaka province. And I'm sure I said that wrong. Probably didn't put an F in it, Trump warns Ankara not to hurt U.S. personnel located in area close to Turkish operation in Syria. So there you go. Let me see if there's anything majorly important still up there. Hundreds arrested from London to Sydney as Extinction Rebellion tries to block roads and bridges in concerted action. So that would be the headline. So let me go ahead and close the monologue and we'll go on with the rest of the show. For those here for the live show, stick around. Don't go anywhere. Don't do anything. We'll be live till 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. For those just here for the monologue, or if you're watching the recording later on, thank you very much. As always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.